Rumble's been picking up a lot of steam recently, and I've heard a lot of talk about it either taking over YouTube or at least being valuable competition. But could it ever actually dethrone YouTube as the largest video sharing site? Before we get into everything, allow me to catch everybody up on what Rumble is in case you've missed all the buzz. Rumble is a video sharing site and live streaming site very, very similar to YouTube. It is currently priding itself on being the free speech alternative to YouTube with less strict moderation and less weird shadow rules. And its most notable feat as of late is signing Andrew Tate to a $100 million deal after he got banned from everything, but before he got arrested. It really seems to be finding its footing as of late and its own marketing strategy. Like I said, mostly being the whole free speech alternative to YouTube. It is mostly attracting political commentators and what I can only describe as Andrew Tate adjacent content. Think men's self-help, bad financial advice, that sort of thing. Ironically, I think its current biggest strength is going to end up being its largest issue in the long run, really running on being the free speech alternative to YouTube or cool YouTube as a lot of the ads have more or less depicted it as. I think this could run into a situation where it either has an incredibly hard time attracting advertisers or runs into its own personal curated adpocalypse kind of situation, like with what happened in YouTube in 2016. However, if that did happen on Rumble, I could see it being even more catastrophic and destructive considering Rumble's entire brand is less strict moderation, free speech, post whatever you want. If they had to tighten that up and moderate more to attract advertisers and become profitable and, continue existing, that would kind of break the entire trust they've been building with their user base, and they would just become worse off-brand YouTube. And I think a lot of people would go back to YouTube if that were to happen. Another large issue is the lack of diversity in the content in of itself. Whereas YouTube definitely has something for everybody, I don't really see Rumble in the same way. Not only is the most popular content the bad financial advice and men's self-help I talked about, that's kind of the only thing that gets any sort of views on the app in of itself, aside from political commentary videos and stuff like that. It's really going to need to find a way to attract different types of creators if it wants to be that competitor to YouTube that everybody, and me included, kind of wants it to be. Maybe by showing off, hey, if you say a naughty no-no word or your video game has blood, we aren't going to nuke you off the face of the platform. Even aside from all the objective problems I kind of see with the app itself, I have my own personal pettier problems. I don't like the lightest green color they picked as their primary color, for example, although I do understand why they chose it. I mean, there isn't really another green social media unless you count Kick. You really shouldn't count Kick. I also really don't like its logo just being a green play button. It really looks just like off-brand YouTube, like an app I'd see at the bottom of the App Store in 2014 called U Plus Tube or something like that. The UI as a whole really is a huge problem for me. It kind of looks like this hybrid between YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch, so it really robs it of its own sense of unique identity that it could have established in the first place, the only thing different being the green color that I already don't like that I mentioned. Even with all of this, I do hope it succeeds and becomes a competitor, or at least giving the threat of competition to YouTube, as I think they've been on top for way too long unchecked. And if something could come along to improve both platforms greatly, and giving more options in general, I think that is nothing but a positive. The only two things it really needs, in my opinion, is better UI and more diversity in creators to really get close to that. And its own reputation as political YouTube isn't great, obviously, but it's definitely not impossible to shake. I mean, think about it. It wasn't that long ago that YouTube was primarily known for cat videos. And I know it's not the same thing as nobody thought the cat videos were problematic. It's definitely a very similar situation. People thought cat videos were stupid and not worthy of respect or anything. But then the wave of YouTubers in what I would call 2012, 13, and 14 really showed that it can be used for a lot of different things. And by 16 and 17, the whole cat videos joke was more or less dead in the ground. But in its current state, I really don't see myself using Rumble either as a viewer or content creator per